Alright, so today I'm gonna be breaking down the beat Laced from Diizii and I's recent album, Fried. So, the funny thing about Laced actually, this was the last track we made for the album, and it was literally made 2 days before we dropped the track. I was just in the studio, just chopping it up, I was like, alright, I kinda wanna make a hood trap beat, because I know that shit's been popping recently, and I'm like, you know what, maybe Diizii might sound dope as fuck on it, so I was like, fuck it, let me just mess around, see what I could do. I'd only made one hood trap beat before, so, I was like, I'm kind of new to it, but I sort of know what's going on, so I was just like, fuck it, let's just try it, and if it works, it works. So, yeah, this shit was made super last minute, but everything worked out, and it came out fire. So, yeah, let's get into the breakdown. Alright, so now, initially, I started off with the drums to, set the initial bounce. I actually started off with, usually people start off with, the hi-hats. I started off with the snare, just to, get that, hood trap bounce to it, so I laid out this pattern initially. So yeah, it's got a very tight, aggressive pattern to it to give it that certain feel. And then from there, I just added a two-step hi-hat pattern, just give it a bit more substance because it's a little bland. Nothing crazy. I could have gone crazy with the hi-hats, but sometimes it's just best to keep it simple, give the artist room to breathe. From there, I added a clap. It's just a traditional clap to act as a counter snare basically. And so yeah, I kept the pattern very simple because the snare pattern was already pretty tight, so if I had gone even more complex with the claps, it wouldn't have really given room for Diizii to rap on. Then I was like, alright, this is pretty good, but it needs just one more thing. Well, actually two more things before I get into the kicks. It just needs one more thing to complete it. And so I added the open hat actually. And the open hat goes it goes every once in a while. So with that all together, it sounds like just something to fill out the air, the ambiance, so it's not too bland, just to give it more depth. And then now was for the fun part, the 808s. So yeah, that's the entire drum pattern with the 808s, and I'm gonna do a little breakdown. So I kept the pattern kind of tight, but simple. I didn't do too many pitch changes, so just something aggressive, hard hitting, but not complex. And so I actually used the Tic Tac 808. I believe I got that from a Pierreborn sauce kit or whatever. And then I applied some Cymatics Diablo Light just to give the 808 extra punch. And this is what it sounds like without it. So it's good, but it's just it's good, but it's not aggressive enough. So if we turn on the punch and the clipper, it just adds a lot more. And then from there, so actually, when I was doing the 808 pattern, I actually borrowed the 808s from this other beat I was working on called Fully Loaded. You see, it's a much simpler 808 pattern. The reason I just took this one is because I wanted my 808 to be hard hitting, and this was like one of the hardest hitting 808s I had. So I just copied and pasted this track over into this one for the laced beat, and I was actually planning on deleting the pattern and and making a new one. I just copied and pasted it so I could have like the Tic Tac 808 and the Cymatic Diablo Light settings already preloaded. But since it's MIDI, the tempo for this one, 65, it automatically tempo matched it to 160. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm just play it. And I was like, damn, okay, this shit kind of hard. So I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to make a new 808 pattern. I could honestly just low-key use this. So I just tweaked around a few notes just to like make it like hit a bit better. And yeah, after that, I added this Fox. I put some reverb and delay on it. I just have it come in like every once in a while. And I got it from the Lunch 77 Kanye kit, actually. That's where I get most of my drum sounds from. The claps, the hi-hats, the snares. They probably came from one of the Lunch 77 kits, whether it be the Metro Boomin, Lunch 77, or Travis Scott. And so yeah, with all the drums put together, this is what it sounds like. Hold up. So yeah, now for the next part, the melodies. So I initially started off with this kind of like a Norda Wick type of melody, and you know it's cool, but like there's not really a whole lot going on in it, so I knew it needed some more substance to it. I wasn't so sure what, so I was like, alright, let me try adding, this is what the melody looks like, by the way. So yeah, I was like, let me try adding a pad or whatever. And I was like, alright, yeah, that gives it like more substance to it. The melody on its own sounds kind of bland, but layered with the other melody, they sound a lot better together. I put it on, I have this section at, hold up. I have that section at D5 and this one at D4, so I pitched it down an octave just to like introduce a bit of variety. And then after that, I was like, alright, yeah, that's pretty sick, but I just want one more thing, just one more sound. So then, I rendered out the clip, so I can't show you the MIDI, but I actually got this, I had this guitar plugin from a contact library, so I actually copied over this, chord progression or whatever, melody progression, and I just tweaked it a bit, lowered the octave, and there's the melody. And now, if you listen closely, actually, I kind of interpolated the guitar from Fiend. It's not the exact same thing, but the guitar from Fiend in the background, if you listen closely, it kind of has that similar like progression to it, the bomb, bomb, bomb. And then yeah, I pitched it down an octave for this next section just to go along with this. So it's like, and then I put the original melody on it, and I was like, I could add a little bit more, but honestly, I think that's all I really need, because like at the end of the day, it is better to keep beats a little simpler, just so the artist has more room to like shine and do his thing. I've like I used to make like crazy beats with like a whole lot going in the melody, but it actually makes things harder for the artist to rap on. It's better to keep your beat simple, and when you listen to your beat, it won't sound completely full, but that's because the artist's voice is gonna make it full. What I used to do, I used to like make my beats completely full by themselves so they'd hit, but I didn't realize I had to like leave some shit out to make room for the artist. The artist's voice. You can think of the artist's voice as essentially another melody that's gonna come in, another aspect to the beat that's gonna complete it. And so yeah, after that, I just arranged the beat. This was the main section I made. Hold up. And so yeah, after that, I just arranged the beat just to like have it build up. So I had to like start out very simple, and then just remove the hi-hats, and then build up a bit more from here, and then remove the hi-hats, and then boom, the beat comes in full force. And something interesting I actually did, so right before the drop, I had the 808s going kind of crazy. I chopped them up into like a triplet pattern, so that way it just like makes the beat drop hit even harder, so it goes like. And so yeah, I was like, alright, this is pretty good. I just over here I removed the 808s just to like as like a little bridge section, just for like Diizii to do like something else before like it goes back into it. And then I was like, yeah, it's pretty much complete. But I was actually listening to Meltdown by Travis Scott the other day, and I was like remembering the TIE Fighter sound effects that Benny X put in. Shout out to Benny X, because that shit was crazy. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something like that. So I searched for TIE Fighter sound effects, and actually found this one. I was like, yeah, that sounds sick. And I also I put in the lasers firing the classic, you know, and I used my Xbox plugin actually to apply some reverb, delay, some pitch widener, and low cut it. I also low cut all of these melodies just so that way the bass doesn't end up clashing with the 808s and creating distortion. So yeah, from then on it was like almost there. I was like, alright, just one more thing, just a siren as like to kind of act as a riser into the beat. So I found this one, and I was like, yeah, that's perfect. And then yeah, from there on, that was the beat. So yeah, when I was making this beat, actually, I wasn't too sure how it was gonna turn out. I thought like maybe like I was creating this like weird, eerie background ambiance. I thought it might have been like kind of too weird sounding, but I was just like, fuck it, I'ma just send it to Diizii and see what he thinks. And Diizii actually fucked with it heavy. He was like, yeah, I gotta rap on that. And so I was like, I bet. So yeah, that just goes to show, always try to do some experimental shit, some shit that like you'd never have thought of doing or anything like that, because who knows, the artist might actually really fuck with it heavy. And yeah, in this case, we made a fucking banger.
got the burner on the side every time I'm tryna come and go in it. Real niggas cry sometimes, but baby, I'm back in a minute. Damn, he gone, he won't be back next week till his funeral. Damn, he gone is dead, they tatted on them in Roman numerals. Know what that mean, bitch? When you die,